What's up, YouTube? You know what time it is. It's Mighty Fan time. And got a pretty substantial pickup video for you guys. Got some pickups from the West Coast, and I got some pickups from the East Coast. I did a bit of traveling. In recent weeks, of course, about a week ago, I was in San Francisco. Short visit. I wish I had more time. I really did. But you know what? Even with that, I was able to see a lot of stuff. I do apologize to A Rock and the other West Coast guys out there, Boris and you guys. I would have loved to have paid you guys a visit, but I just didn't have the time. We were just running around. My cousin's wedding, of course, and so we didn't really have a lot of time for sightseeing, though we got a lot in. I saw Alcatraz. I rode a cable car. I briefly saw Fisherman's Wharf. I saw Pier 39. I saw the Seals. Went to a Giants game at AT&T Park. Saw the hills. Rode over the Golden Gate Bridge. Rode over the Bay Bridge. So I kind of did it all, as much as you can do in like 3.5 days, with really about a day, maybe 2 days worth for sightseeing. But it was still a lot of fun, and really enjoyed my time. Thanks to the West Coast for the hospitality. Even though I was wearing my Philly stuff all the time, besides the wedding, I had to wear a suit then. Hate wearing suits, but anyhow. But the trip was successful. It was a great time. The wedding was in a vineyard, one of the many vineyards out in California. It was just really cool, and it was neat to see things that I normally wouldn't be able to see. So I was real happy for that. And no earthquakes too, so I was happy for that too. But anyhow, I do hope to go back again someday, and at that point, I'll let you guys know on the West Coast, and maybe we can have a meetup then when I'll have more time. So there you go. But anyhow, great trip. I was able to pick up the two things that I wanted to pick up from the West Coast. So I was able to do that during my trip. I had two things in mind I wanted to get. I was able to get them, so I'm happy. I'll show you them after I show you these pickups. And by the way, I'm wearing a Jackie Robinson jersey. It's not a Mitchell&Ness wool flower. I think it's more of a generic replica jersey, but it's still a very cool one. Just has the 42 on the back. And of course, this week we honor Jackie Robinson, and the movie 42 came out. I'm looking forward to seeing that. I hope to go see it this weekend at some point, and I'll be wearing this. And of course, I got now this is a wool hat. This is a wool Brooklyn Dodgers hat from Mitchell&Ness. I got this years ago at the store when they made them back then. Of course, they made them to go with the jerseys. They don't make them anymore. But this is a very cool hat. It's a little small, but then again, they did wear them small back in the day. If you see pictures of ball players back then, the hats always look small on them. But so I fit right in. So there you go. But yes, much respect to Jackie. Real happy to have this jersey. I mean, I have this. I feel I have some of the greats. With Jackie, I have Hank Aaron. I have a Roberto Clemente, of course, and I'm happy to have a Willie Mays, although this is Mets jersey. But still have a Willie Mays. I saw Willie Mays, too, at the Giants game. I didn't, see him. I was in my seat. He was on the field, but he was there. It was ring day for the Giants, so they had some of the greats there. Willie McCovey, Willie Mays, Juan Marichal. It was just cool to see some of the old players, even from a little far away. But it was still, I could still say, hey, I saw those guys. And that's pretty cool. But yeah, much respect to Jackie. Looking forward to see the movie. Hope you all go see that movie. From everything I've heard, it's just awesome. So I really look forward to seeing it, and I'll wear this to the movie. So there you go. But it's also flea market season, and Mighty Fan loves the flea markets, and I go to them anytime I get a chance. And I guess living in the Philly area, the flea markets around here, the store is in Philadelphia, so people over the years bought Mitchell&Ness jerseys at the store. And during flea markets, as it is on eBay, from time to time you will see someone selling their old, jerseys that they purchased. Maybe they got them on eBay, who knows? But since it is the home of Mitchell&Ness, sometimes you will find Mitchell&Ness jerseys. But I always tell people, go to flea markets. Go out, search with your eyes. Actually, go out, get away from the computer screen. Go out and search, because that's what collecting is also all about. Yes, of course you find, I find a bulk of what I do on the internet too. But there is nothing better than going out and actually finding something. It just takes me back to my roots of collecting when I used to do it before eBay. When I used to go to different places looking for different comic books or whatever. And now, of course, it's with jerseys. So I always preach that. So I found a few jerseys at today's flea market. I went with my buddy Mark. Shout out to Mark. We found some good things there. And this is a older run Mitchell&Ness. This is a 1975 Pete Rose, Charlie Hustle, Cincinnati Reds jersey. It's an older run Mitchell&Ness jersey, and you know it's the older run baseball one because there's no name on the back. It's only 14. So back then, Mitchell&Ness made their jerseys for baseball. This is during the jersey fad back in the early 90s. And even though they didn't have the naming rights for a lot of players in baseball, they still made their jersey. So you'll notice there's, like, for instance, there's Mets jerseys with just the numbers on the back, no names, even though they're supposed to have a name. Pirates jerseys, Reds, Phillies, my Phillies, the old Larry Boa jersey with just a 10 on the back, Mike Schmidt with just a 20. From the 1980 season when they won, they had their names on the back. It's just they were pumping out jerseys left and right. They didn't really care. They just wanted to sell them, and so they made a lot of them without having the naming rights to the players, but they still made them. And this is another example of one of them. And it's just a really cool jersey anyhow. I'm still glad to have it. I think at some point they also made one with some sort of anniversary logo or something on the sleeve. I don't have that one, but I have the 75, and I'm just real happy with it. It's a pretty rare Mitchell&Ness jersey. You don't see it too often, so I'm glad to have it. And, of course, can't go wrong with these old Reds jerseys. I love them. I have the 76 Perez. I have the 76 Johnny Bench. I just love these old Reds jerseys so much, so I'm just glad to have them. And I do have a replica somewhere, a red Reds Pete Rose jersey with the Cincinnati on the front. That's just a really cool jersey too. So I definitely have the Reds down in my collection for sure. You guys might remember that. And I have that 76 hat now too. So I still want to get the Eric Davis jersey someday though. I know once Mark, aka Big Slim, directed me to an auction of it, but it was a little too big, so I passed on it. And it was around the time of the Super Bowl sale too, so I just figured to pass on it. And but thanks again to Mark that way. Someday I'll get that one too, and I would like to get Barry Larkin someday too, but we'll see. I have a list. I do. And then I was able to find this, and I was really happy to find these next two. They represent my favorite team in the NHL, of course, the Flyers, although they won't be in the playoffs this year. There's always next year. It's like, I feel like a Cubs fan saying that every year, but there's always next year. Hoping for better things for the Flyers then, but this is an older vintage Mitchell&Ness. At the time, it was the home white jersey. This is from the 1970. Let me get this right. 73-74. Wanted to make sure I got that right. 73-74 season. The old home white. One of the retired numbers for the Flyers, Bill Barber. And this is the older Mitchell&Ness one. The one they made some years ago was the orange. Time to road orange. And the 7 is just huge on the back. If you think this 7 is big, it just took up the whole back for the jersey. So I wanted a Bill Barber, but I wanted the older one. Just because I just liked it. And it used to be on the Mitchell&Ness website, and then, of course, they sold out. But, I was able to find it. The flea market, I was happy to do so. Barber nameplate, 7 double-stitched. The 7's on the sleeves. And, of course, the Flyers crest on the front. It's got a little chain stitching going around it, so you guys can see that. So there you go. Nice vintage shirt. They're making a movie. Rob Zombie's making a movie for the Broad Street Bullies. It should be out in a couple years, so I trust you all will see it. I'm going to go see it. I'm a little nervous because of what he did with the Halloween series, that second Halloween movie. Michael Myers without the mask. I'm hoping Bernie Perron has his mask. But anyhow, So I got the Bill Barber. And this next jersey that I will show to you is a staple for Flyers fans. And this is as much a staple for Flyers fans as the Mike Schmidt jersey is for Phillies fans, right? And we all know I have enough Mike Schmidt jerseys, right? So this one you will always see at Flyers games or out and about in public and whatnot. And it is the captain of the Cup teams, Bobby Clarke. Some call him Clarky. So, this is one of the more iconic jerseys for the Flyers that you will see. And it's his captain's jersey from the 1974-75 season, the last of the Cup years to date. Hopefully, we'll have another one someday. But this was the style jersey that they wore on the road when they won the Cup in Buffalo that year. And he was hosting up the Cup with Bernie Parent. They just made a statue to that outside of Wells Fargo Center. They keep having to celebrate the 70s Flyers because that's the last team that won the Cup, and they're still beloved in this town like you would imagine a championship team would be. But there's a very special place in Philadelphia for the Bullies, and for Flyer fans everywhere for the Bullies. And Bobby Clarke was the captain of the Bullies and won the back-to-back Cups. Sorry, Murph, but they beat your Bruins in 74. Then they beat the Sabres in 75 to capture their first and only 2 Stanley Cups. And it's kind of funny now looking back on it. They beat the Bruins and the Sabres. 2 teams that are in the Eastern Conference right now. But back then, that's how it was. It was like there were different conferences, and they would like interplay one another in the playoffs. It was like almost a roulette or something, and it just happened. The Flyers played the Sabres, and then the Flyers played the Bruins, and then they played the Sabres. And then next year, 76, Bernie Parent was hurt, but they still made it back to the Cup Finals and lost to the Canadiens, another Eastern Conference team today. So it's just how it was. And then they lost to the Islanders in 1980 in the Cup Finals. So, it just goes to show how they used to do the Cups, the seeding and all for the playoffs back then. You never knew who you would play when you got to the finals. But it'd be kind of cool if they did that today, I think. But it's just me. I know they're doing that whole reseeding thing now, or whole kind of flip-flopping around now with the conferences and stuff. I know the Red Wings are coming to the East next year, and like the Jets are going back to the West, and a couple other things going on. I'm not thinking of off the top of my head, but it should be cool. It should be interesting. The chief rivals for the Flyers are still in, like the Penguins and the Rangers. So it still should be interesting to see how it goes down next year. But anyhow, back to the jersey. Bobby Clarke, 1974-75. It's got the double-stitched captaincy, and it's got the big 16, the name on the nameplate. There you go. All Flyer fans should have a Bobby Clarke jersey in their collection somewhere. Now, I've had a Bobby Clarke jersey in my collection for a number of years. This is the first time I have the orange one that I've wanted. I've had chances at this one, too, at the Mitchell&Ness store, and I always passed on it. But I didn't pass on it today at the flea market, so there you go. But I had this one for a number of years. You'll notice it doesn't have a C on the front, though. Mitchell&Ness made this jersey years ago. It's from the 73-74 season. I have to do some research because I want to know if he was the captain back then. This was a blunder on Mitchell&Ness's part, not putting the C on the front. Because if he was the captain in 73-74, or 73-74, yes, he was, actually. That was one of the Cup years. But I want to make sure. I just want to make sure that he was the captain. I forget exactly when he became the captain. I know for sure he wasn't the captain originally. And I forget who the captain was. It was Van Imp or Ashby. Or one of those guys was the captain when Clarke first came onto the team. So he didn't have the C at that time. And then eventually he became the captain. And I believe he was the captain both years in their Cup run years. But I want to just double check, because if that's the case, I'm definitely going to get the C put on this one from that shop in Philadelphia that does the customizations. But I don't know why they never put the C on this jersey. It still kind of is a mystery. But anytime you see the white Bobby Clarke jersey, the Mitchell, it doesn't have the C for whatever reason. Unless people like customized on, it doesn't have it. So I just want to do a little research. MightyFan, he does the research. And I want to make sure if it had the C, I want to get the C put on there. I just, I'm a stickler. But I've had this for a number of years. It's a very cool jersey. Definitely get a lot of compliments and such, but it doesn't have the C. and I want to see. If you had to see, I want to see. And I've had this one too for a number of years. This is my 73-74 Bernie Perrant. Another staple for Flyer fans is Bernie Perrant. So, and I somewhere have a Reggie Leach jersey. So I have the RCB line in my collection. The RCB line, for those who don't know, were Bobby Clark, Bill Barber, and Reggie Leach, one of the all-time great scoring lines in NHL history. Those three on the same line. That was a pretty potent scoring line. And a big part of their cup team. So I'm happy to say I have the RCB line in my collection as a Flyers fan. And last but not least, I want to get to the pickups from the West Coast, the pickups from San Francisco. And I said in a video before my trip, the two things I wanted to get in San Francisco was a 49ers hat and a Giants hat that I couldn't find here. As I can find 49ers and Giants hats here, but I wanted to find something I couldn't find here that was picked up from San Francisco. So when I was at Pier 39, there's a bunch of shops there. One of them was this one. Pier 39 NFL shop. Maybe the West Coast people have been there. It's a pretty cool shop, has a lot of sports paraphernalia, although the jerseys are up high, so I wasn't too happy with that. But they had a ton of hats, and I wanted to get a 49er hat, so I got a 49er hat from there. It's a New Era fitted, but it's more of the floppy fitted one for the summer and such. And there it is, 49ers on the back. It's got the logo on the front, black brim, so it's got the dual color going there. Definitely go with the jerseys that I have, so I'm happy to have this one. A little unique. Didn't think I would find something like that in this neck of the country. And of course, I went to AT&T Park wearing my Phillies. But I wanted to pick up a Giants hat, so I did. I got this one. This is a 47 brand. You will find Giants hats like this here, but more of the fitted variety, the on-field fitted. This has, of course, the orange brim. But this is a strap-back hat, so it's got the Giants on the back. Sorry to the Dodgers fans, but there it is. I know, I'm wearing a Dodgers jersey, I'm showing a Giants. I don't know. But with all due respect to Dodger Nation, there is the pickup from AT&T Park. And I also got this. And this was very strange. Me being a big-time Phillies fan, I was there, like I said, for ring day. And the first 50,000 fans got this souvenir championship ring. And this is pretty cool because this is like a real ring. I thought it would be like a Cracker Jack box, like toy ring, but it's actually a metal ring. The gems aren't real, but but it's actually a metal ring, so that's pretty cool. It has a little stand, so it's another little keepsake from my trip. I don't know. But hey, anyhow, as I said, I had a great trip to the West Coast. Again, big shout out to the West Coast. San Francisco, I have 3 cousins who live out there, and a friend of the family who lives out there. So big shout out to San Francisco, city by the bay. Had a great trip there. As always, a shout out to all my subscribers, all my fellow Jersey heads, the Kings of Throwbacks group on Facebook, the other groups on Facebook. I mean, goodness, everyone, family, friends, fellow DeviantArt members, anyone that I'm forgetting, big shouts to all of you. Everyone go out, see that movie 42, of course, the Jackie Robinson story. I'm going to see it this coming weekend, but if you're a sports fan or anybody out there, really should see this movie because I hear so many great things. And, of course, Jackie, one of the all-time great sports players in any sport. He was just a legend. So honor Jackie. You know, for those of you who have his jersey, wear his jersey. Really should wear it any time you're around, but certainly during the Jackie Robinson tribute, all the players will be wearing number 42. So it's cool. So wear your Jackie Robinson jerseys if you got them. Wear your tribute jerseys if you have those. Some people have the authentic, 42 jerseys for their team. So be sure to give those a wear. Go see the movie 42. And I'll be seeing it this weekend, so I look forward to that. And until my next video, this is MightyFan's saying peace. I will see you all then. Okay, bye.